You're supposed to say, Judge, I can't, I try.
I know.
I try, I can't do it, right? But you're right there. You're familiar with that because you live in that area, right?
How do you know?
Because I have your address here.
Oh,
That's how I know. Did you ever major in logic?
No, I majored in music, actually.
If I got the first ticket, the second two never would have happened.
A lot of people change their attitude when they walk in and see a judge on the bench, Your Honor.
They don't care. They're not afraid of the judge. They're afraid of the cops. You better change your attitude. Right. I think you're well intended, but you come across, right, differently than you think you're projecting. Okay.
Judge Caprio suspects a romantic relationship gone bad is the reason a motorist keeps on changing addresses.
Mr. Nappi, you have 4 different registrations. You keep changing registrations. You're one step ahead of the law. Every time you think they're going to come, you change the registration, right?
No. Except now, Your Honor, we got him. It's booted.
They caught up with you.
Yes.
They got the boot on my car, my truck.
He told the court that he'd just started working because he broke his wrist in half and he had to get surgery done. He must have really gone through a lot of pain. Judge Frank asked why he had 4 different registrations. He told him that he didn't know as he only had 1 truck. Could it have been a mistake? Well, it's his vehicle. How wouldn't he know?
What do you do?
I never got any pocket tickets. I think they're all cameras. Is there any? I don't think they're parking.
They send summonses to your house, right?
I moved 3 times too, so that could have done.
You live on Beckside Road, right?
Yup. I don't live there now no more.
You don't live there anymore?
No.
Judge Frank mentioned 3 addresses, but he had moved away from all of them. He works for a real estate company, so he keeps moving from one place to another. Well, that's a pretty big flex. The judge asked Inspector Kerrigan what his recommendation was. He also asked if Mr. Christopher should be held until he pays the fines. Without thinking twice, he agreed.
The landlord sold the house. He told me he was never going to sell it. He sold it after a year and a half.
I feel a thought coming on. I feel a thought. I think there was a romantic relationship involved here, and
Well, that could have been the case too. What do you think? He stated that that wasn't the case though. Maybe we got that one wrong. Although it did drain his account, he brought some money with him to pay. Judge Frank stated that he was going to fine him $490. He brought $390 with him, so the judge asserted that he could pay $300 and he'd be given a month to pay the balance. That's fair enough.
now, Mr. Nappi, if you don't pay it, you're going to come back, and all the penalties that I waived are going to go back on.
Oh, I'm good. I'm paying it.
Next thing you know, you'll have a new address.
Even though I like it, you guys are all nice, but I'm not coming back.
Good luck.
Thank you. You too.
He seemed like a pretty happy and respectful guy, and the fact that he came prepared, well, it's commendable. On to the next case. A motorist wonders how Judge Caprio knows so much personal information about her. Miss Fearing was charged with speeding on Blackstone Boulevard and Butler Avenue.
All right, Cassandra, we're going to test and see if you were listening to me today. Were you listening to me in court?
Earlier?
Yes.
You were saying it's not going to go on my insurance
record.
or points or anything like that.
Yeah, it doesn't go to the registry. It
Yeah.
doesn't go to your insurance company.
Yes.
She believed what she was doing was noble. Well, I'm curious to know what she was doing that was so noble that she got herself a ticket. She explained that she worked as a medical interpreter for International Institute, so she'd gone out to East Providence to pick somebody up. It was an older guy named Molly who had Parkinson's and cancer.
I picked him up in East Providence and was taking him and his wife to Miriam Hospital for treatment. And I'm just, I'm not used to those cameras yet, so I'm just not used to having to slow down that slow.
In her defense, she was distracted by the people she had in the car. Fortunately for her, the city doesn't charge you unless you're doing 30, and she was doing 31. The judge has been dismissing 31 because the city has the discretion, and they can also charge for 1 more mile if they want.
All right, based on my previous rulings, the matter will be dismissed.
Okay.
Okay.
And I want you
I'm going to think about this. She thinks I was stalking her. How do you know where I lived?
Well, I also want you to know I think you're one of the very best things about this state.
Oh, thank
And
you.
I hope you stick around a long time.
That was a really sweet but important compliment. I really hope he stays long enough for more people to see what kind of a judge he is. On to the next case. This motorist tries to say the police were the reason why she broke the law. She was accused of going through a red light on Service Road 7 on Broadway. Now, this one is extremely dangerous.
Let's watch it, then we'll
Okay.
talk. Light is yellow. Red. Okay.
Oh, it's red.
You are a substantial distance before the red light. There is a police car that is stopped on the other side of the service road. Let's assume you were sitting here with the robe on, and I was there, and I said to you, I was coming down the service road, I was about 30 feet from the intersection when the light turned red, and there was a police car turned on the other side of the road, about 300 feet from me, and I went through the red light.
She explained that she's a very nervous person, and whenever she sees the police and ambulance, she tries to get out of the way most of the time. Using her logic, she should have stopped and not gone through the light. According to her, she only intended to go out of harm's way, but unfortunately, she messed up.
The video speaks for itself. You were well before the light when the light turned red. The fact that there was a police car on the other end of the street mitigates against you, doesn't help you.
She was in tears, and it's understandable that anxiety can cloud your judgment, but, I mean, she was wrong, and that was pretty clear. Judge Frank told her it was $85 without hesitation. Deborah has 3 red light violations. She explained that when she had come to sign in, she was told she had 2 violations, which happened on the same day.
They told me that I had another violation in April that I never got a ticket for. So I really, the only thing I really want to say is if I had gotten if I had gotten the ticket in April, these 2 wouldn't have happened because I would have known I had to stop.
That's just ridiculous. I doubt that she's ever read the driver's manual. Judge Frank asked if she'd like the video to be shown to her, but she requested that it shouldn't as she'd seen it. Well, she'd only seen 2 because she just got 2 tickets.
Because I only got these 2 tickets.
Oh, you want to see the third?
No, it's okay.
All right. Pay the clerk.
You know, gotta admit, Judge Frank really knows how to balance his judgments. On to the next case. A motorist explains why he's intimidated by Inspector Kerrigan. He was charged with going through a stop sign.
I was on my way to the gym. I was with a friend.
Oh, they're going to the gym?
Yeah, I go
Oh,
to the
well,
gym.
Inspector Carey, he was going to the gym.
Yeah, I was going to the gym, and then I know where the stop sign is on the street, but I was already like pretty far ahead, like from the street, so.
He then realized a police officer was coming from the back, so he pulled over. At first, he thought he was just going by, but it ended up being for him. The officer had told him to make a left, and he did, and he rolled down his window. He was then told that he ran a stop sign.
I rolled up my window, and he tells me I ran a stop sign, and then I tell him, officer, I think you have the wrong person, and then he just proceeded to write me the ticket, and then I was a gentleman about it, just took the ticket, and I was like, I'll just appear in court for it.
Did you tell him, I'll see you in court?
Nah, he told me that, actually.
He told you?
Yeah, he told me that.
Judge Frank asked Inspector Kerrigan if he thought he had a good attitude, and as honest as Inspector Kerrigan could be, he stated that he probably was. The judge thinks if he had a bad attitude, he would have shown that in court, but is that always the case?
Anyway, you don't have a good driving record. You have a good driving record, but you don't have it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And in order for me to dismiss it on the good driving record, it has to be for 3 years. What do you do?
I'm a relationship banker at BOA. I'm also a delivery driver as a side hustle.
That's pretty impressive. He explained that he had just finished his internship as a relationship banker, and he's looking towards a full conversion in a couple of months, so he's been working 7 days a week recently just to get his life together.
Well, Inspector Kerrigan thinks that everyone's afraid of the judge and not the prosecutor. So who are you more afraid of, the judge or the prosecutor?
I wouldn't say I'm scared, but the prosecutor.
He's afraid of you. Right? I win.
Judge Frank stated that the matter will be dismissed upon payment of $60. It didn't end there, though. Judge Frank gave him some words of advice.
When you go to court, there's no reason to be afraid of anyone, right? Because everyone has a job to do, right? You may not like the way people do their job. You know, I mean, there are some prosecutors that you may respect, you know, and others maybe you feel differently about it.
A motorist defends Judge Caprio when he makes an unbelievable excuse for why he's never paid his tickets.
Good evening, sir. You have 7 different registrations. Is there a reason for that?
The Buick already went to court for it already. I shouldn't have no ticket for the Buick, but I see I got a few on here that they didn't dismiss.
He has a Chevrolet that he drives, and he has 5 overnight parking tickets on it. He also has a previous court judgment where was served $315, which he didn't pay, even though he had promised he would.
Since then, you have another $595 in parking tickets.
500.
No, not 500, 595. Now, granted, that 595 is without penalties.
Those were the original tickets, and the triple amount is $1,500. The judge questioned why he didn't pay after he made a payment plan. He explained that he thought it was already paid by a friend he gave money to. Now that's just ridiculous.
She was my friend, so I thought she would.
I don't believe it. I don't believe. Do you believe that?
No.
We're going to do something that makes sense here. I'm going to make this the total amount due, what you owed before and what you owe now. $715. That's the total amount.
Judge Frank stated that he was going to work out a payment plan again, and if he doesn't keep to this payment plan, his car's not going to be booted this time, it's going to be towed. This guy was given a substantial break, and I think that's pretty fair.
I don't care if you pay $10 a week. You're going to have to pay it.
Okay.
Make a payment plan and keep the payment plan. Make a notation. If he doesn't pay it, car gets towed.
Yes, ma'am.
A motorist with a bad attitude gets some helpful advice from Judge Caprio. Miss Kalen came to court with her translator. She was charged with parking on the sidewalk.
She wasn't parking in the sidewalk.
Well, it solves that. Inspector Quinn, she wasn't parked on the sidewalk.
Then we didn't need the translator.
Yeah, we don't need a translator here.
Well, I guess we can all pack our things and just go home now. The translator explained that Miss Kalen was blocking her driveway because they had kids playing around and they wanted them to go out to the street, hence why she parked in her driveway.
And the police came and we explained to him, but he was in some attitude, and we leave him. And I tried to move the car, and he was like, no, get out. I'm giving you a ticket, and I'm like, but I was moving the car.
Judge Frank stated that the car was parked in her driveway and it was blocking part of the sidewalk, but she countered him saying it was blocking just her driveway and the sidewalk was free. He had to give her further explanation on how exactly that works.
When you first enter your driveway from the street, right? That portion of your driveway is considered
sidewalk.
a sidewalk.
That wasn't blocked.
That was not blocked.
No.
So she wasn't blocking the sidewalk at all.
No. That's what I mean. I don't know why the ticket is like blocking a sidewalk.
He asked if she took any pictures, but unfortunately she didn't. Her translator stated that Miss Kalen attempted explaining to the officer, but he didn't understand Spanish, so he went ahead and gave her a ticket.
So he said, I'm going to give her a ticket. So you went out and you threatened the police officer, right?
No, I was going to move the car for her.
Yeah. He said, don't move it. And what did you,
Yeah.
you had to say something to him.
No.
Judge Frank stated that there was something about her story and he was going to give her a break on it. He also advised that she doesn't go out and embarrass or threaten the parking enforcement officer or insult anybody that parks on her sidewalk.
Inspector Quinn, what do you think about this? You think she threatened him?
I would definitely be intimidated if she come out to tell me.
See, that, even Inspector Quinn's intimidated by you now.
Do you think I can be a good lawyer?
I don't know. The jury is still out.